What's going on, everyone? This is Will here from the Commander Duo, coming at you with a very special video today. This is going to be a deck profile on my Oloro deck, and if you haven't noticed already, you're going to see some Overlord stuff right here. This is a completely altered deck for Oloro. So yeah, I'm super excited to show you guys. Some of you have seen some of my Overlord altered cards that were altered for Oloro essentially. And yeah, I'm very excited to show you the actual deck build. It's a full deck, and yeah, some awesome stuff. If you're an Overlord fan, you are gonna love this video. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started here. Before I start with the commander and all that goodness, I just want to show you a couple of my favorite Overlord cards that are just in my collection. Here's this one. This one is absolutely gorgeous. There's that. Albedo, Irons. Super cool background. Alright. Completely irrelevant to the video, but hey, if you're here for Overlord, it's not a bad thing. Beautiful. Alright, anyways. So, the commander that we are running is Oloro, the Ageless Ascetic. He's a giant soldier. He basically, at the beginning of our upkeep, we're going to gain 2 life regardless of where he's at, as long as he's in the command zone or on the field. When he's on the field, whenever you gain life, you can pay 1. If you do draw a card, each opponent loses life. So he's on the field, he's great for resources, and he's basically like a king. Or actually, he's more of like a Colossus, but he looks like a king. Anyways, so that's the commander, and here is the altered commander card. This is the Einzulgon, Overlord of Nazariq. You can see, if you can look at that, it says Oloro, Ageless Ascetic, has all the mana and everything, and yeah, he has all of this. Sorry about that, my cat. Of course, as you guys know, my cats love to ruin my videos. I already had to put one cat away because, you know, Abby loves the attention. But yeah, our other cat, Luna, keeps bumping the camera tripod. And I'm like, come on, man. This is a special video. Anyways, so, as you can see, same exact effect and everything. It's in a foil. This is made from MakePlayingCards.com. And I got my own custom Overlord back that I added. I just had to, you know? So yeah, love it. This deck is built... I tried to build it... Yep. Oh, and if you didn't know, Luna has asthma, and she has to take her pills every 3 days, so something you probably didn't know, and that's what that noise is. So we're just gonna skip this, and I'll be back when she's done. Welcome back. Alright. No more cat interruptions. Anyways, yep, so that's the commander. I think I was pretty much done with that. Beautiful. The deck, oh yeah, the deck build is completely based around what I would imagine an Overlord themed deck would be. So all the cards are actually legit. They're not like custom made cards, but we got our big old spells, our 5th tiers and ups. We got all of our protection. We got our, we have our Pleiades group. We have all of the guardians of the floors, floor guardians. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And then I wanted to also show you guys this playmat. It was a custom playmat made, stitched and everything. I think I can adjust. I don't know if I can adjust this to really show, but here, yeah, it's a completely stitched playmat off Inked Gaming. Sorry, beautiful playmat. I had to go all out with this, and this art is just amazing. So yeah, let's get started. First up, we have the floor guardians here. Starting with Albedo. We have Albedo as Lisa, Shroud of Dust. She's an angel. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life, flying and lifelink. A big theme of this deck is to let my friends play the game, but they gotta pay to play. So there's Albedo. Next, we have Shaltir Bloodfallen, the Bloody Valkyrie, as Teysa, Envoy of Ghosts. This basically said when she's on the field and a creature deals combat damage to me, that creature's getting destroyed, and I'm creating a 1/1 white and black spirit. Super cool art, by the way. Most of these art are Sobin. some of these are fan arts, so I'm so sorry, but as you can tell, none of them have the art or anything on there, who it was. But if you're watching and this is your art, thank you so much for the awesome art you guys do, and to Sobin and everyone else and every fan of Overlord. I just wanted to say you guys are amazing. This will never leave my home, will not be resold or any of that kind of stuff, so the appreciation I have for you guys is all right here when I play. So yeah. Moving on, we have Demiurge, the Demon Tactician, as combo console of allocation. Whenever opponent casts a non-creature, they're losing 2 life, I'm gaining 2 life. You'll see a theme, destruction and life loss. Yeah. Now we have Pleiades, the Glacial Warrior, as Grand Arbiter Augustin. This is so my spells are cheaper and my opponent's spells are just 1 more to cast. It does hurt them quite a bit. This isn't supposed to be a stack deck to the point where they can't do anything, but it does hamper them a little bit, and yeah, makes sense. That's how I wanted Pleiades to be. Couldn't really find a good like kind of warrior card because that's not the theme of the deck. It isn't really battle combat. And then we have Madame Aura as Karlov of the Ghost Council. This card is super clutch, actually. It's funny because Aura and Mare are actually 2 of my favorites to play in the deck. But whenever you gain life, you get 2 counters. You can remove 6 counters and a white and black, exile a creature. Super, super threatening, and Aura can get pretty big. So yeah, it's hard to find a good art for Aura, but I think that one looks good. And then we have Mare. He is a Zur the Enchanter. So yeah, we have a lot of enchantments in this deck. This card gets hated off the board so quick, which is sad because, you know, Mare is so innocent. He just wants to grab me an enchantment. Boo. So yeah, these are the Floor Guardians in all their glory. Love the art on that guy is actually straight from the book, and so is that one. That art I got off of scanning a poster from the light novel book, so in case anybody was wondering. So yeah, that is it for the Floor Guardians. They basically lead the assault into battle. And hold our opponents back as much as they can. So yeah, those are them. Next, we're moving on to the Pleiades group. Starting off here, we have Obzadot, the Ghost Council. This is a awesome card for letting our opponent lose life, and it's hard to get off the board. As you see with this one, it's not an altered name because it is, I thought it was good enough just being called the Ghost Council, and then you see the group of the Pleiades battle maids in all their awesome sexiness. Anyways, so there's that. And then we have, of course we have to have the head butler to the Pleiades group, Sebas. Sebas was a very difficult one to find good art for, but this is the one I wound up with. Focus, please. There you go. I did him as the Rhino Monk, Rock's Faith Mender. If you gain life, gain twice as much instead. Next, for the actual Pleiades, we have Yuri Alpha as our Sarah Ascendant. As long as your life is 30 or more, plus 5, and flying. This opening game is so nice because we're almost always above 40 health. Scary, scary card. And yeah, Yuri Alpha is a badass, so there you go. Next, we have our Narble Gamma as the Angel of Destiny. Super clutch with her about to use her Dragon Lightning, I believe, in the show. So yeah, you can win game with this just by its effect. Pause if you want to read it in full. It's amazing. Next, we have our Solution Epsilon, looking very creepy as ever with her ooze coming out of her knockers there. Yeah, as Mengara, the Diplomat, I think is how you say it, gets us resources through draws, and it has some lifelink, so she's a good support card. Next, we have Lupus Regina as the Marauding Blight Priest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses a life. This can win game with one of the Exquisite Sanguines. This deck isn't about infinite combos, but, you know, you gotta make an Overlord deck as good as you can, so it is an option. Next, we have Entuma Vasilisa Zeta, I think is how you pronounce that. Come on, focus. There you go. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So again, the lifesteal theme is what I went with on this. Wow, sorry about the focus. I want you to be able to see this art. There you go. Creatures you control can have lifelink till end of turn via its effect. So she's a good support for life gain, life loss. And then rounding up, we have CZ2128 Delta as the Vizscopa Guildmage. Awesome card. This second effect is really good. Whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. So if you have a lot of life gain in mind for the turn, Delta can pretty much turn all that live into like lethal damage back at them. So, yep, this is the Pleiades Battle Mage group along with the Council and Sebis. So these pretty much actually wrap up the creatures that I run. A lot of it is non-creature based, but the Pleiades group and the Floor Guardians make up the brunt of the forces here. So now we are moving on to some spells. As you know, with any blue, white, black deck, you gotta have some counter spells to prevent things from happening, and what better way to lead than with Force of Will. We tend to have a good sized hand throughout the game, so we're running that Force of Will. Check out the art on that. Then we got a Mana Drain. We have a Render Silent. We have a Counterspell. Arcane Denial. And I think that's it for counters. I thought about running more, but with the theme of the deck, I ran out of space with everything I wanted, and I just didn't want to have it just be a counterspell deck, because yeah, it's not as fun for me. And I still want my friends to play. That's the thing. I only want to stop the stuff that's gonna really hurt Eins will go. Next up, we got, of course, the Path to Exile with the Swords to Plowshare removals. Why not? For 1 mana, let's get some nastiness out of there. I'll show the art a little individually. I think most of this is actually Sobin on these ones for art style. Next, we have some Destruction, some of our 10th tier spells, if you will. Starting off, we have Supreme Verdict. We got ourselves Wrath of God. Amazing artwork. And we got ourselves Damnation. Again, just beautiful art. So, keeping it light on the destruction, but making sure we have it for all them creatures. Because we don't have that many creatures, so it's usually not hurting us. Moving on now to some of our just ways to deal damage in the form of like life loss. So this is just kind of a toolkit. So first up we have a Blood Chief Ascension. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck. I'm not going to read the whole thing just for sake of time, but if you want to pause to read it or look it up, amazing card. And look at that artwork. Oof. I think this is fan art actually, and it is amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. So there's that. We got ourselves a Palace Siege, mainly for the second effect, unless we have a bunch of creatures in our grave, but typically it's just to keep the life loss consistent. One of my favorites, one of the best cards printed recently, Needhook Massacre. See, Demiurge with all his demons, super sick. Great card. It's a clear, and it also is a damage dealer. This thing just sitting on the board is amazing. Next we have our Debt to the Debtless. This is a late game card when we're trying to go in for the win. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You need to sink a lot of mana into this to make it worth your while. Court of Ambition, same deal. We're trying to keep Monarch, and then we're trying to make our opponents lose life, so there we go. We're just sitting there trying to make that life loss. And then last we have Painful Quandary. Kind of a high cast, but whenever opponent casts a spell, that player loses 5 life unless they discard a card. Next we have Tutors. So this deck wants to get out things for situations to be able to basically dig into the toolkits that we have. So this definitely ups up the strength of the deck through tutors. Starting off, we have Idyllic Tutor. We got a Pandora's Actor helping Nines out. I think this scene actually just took place in season 4. I think it's episode 2 actually. If you haven't checked out season 4 of Overlord yet, it is out and it is amazing so far and just so wholesome. So excited for the next episode. So there's that. Searching out our enchantments. We got good old Evil Eye with the Vampiric Tutor. I thought that was fitting since she is a vampire. Amazing artwork, very creepy, very ominous. We got a Mystical Tutor. Thought that art was cool between Ainz and Sheltier, that battle. We got our Demonic Tutor, the big old demon. I think this part hasn't happened yet, I would assume. I think this is way further than the light novel. But no spoilers, please. I have no idea what that thing is, but it is awesome. Now we have our Grim Tutor. You can see Ainz in all of his glory. Beautiful. Again, just tutoring for cards, enchantments, whatever we need. And last but not least, the Enlightened Tutor with Albedo. Artifact or enchantment. Super nice. So that wraps up our 6 tutors. Next, resources is a big thing when you have a guild, you're running a guild. And yeah, so let me just show you some of the ways we have of gathering resources. We have Phyrexian Reclamation to start off. Pay 2 life and a mana, return a creature from grave to hand. We're almost always having plenty of life, so this is not a problem. And there's no other way to bring creatures back once they're dead in this deck, so this is a very clutch card for that. Next we have Phyrexian Arena for getting our draws for a loss of life. At the beginning of your upkeep you gain 2, so you're really only just gaining 1, so it's not a big deal. Land tax, in case we get mana screwed. Yeah. Not much to say about that art, but I still like it. It's so hard to make things thematic to like Magic and then try to match art because, as you know, there's only so much art out there. But I think I did an okay job. Smothering Tithe, you can see Ainz, and then some of the king. It looks very, very frustrated. And as you know, every time you ask someone, that's basically me when I'm asking, or no, this is me asking if you want to pay 2, and this is your opponent like, just add the treasure, please. Everyone else is like, damn. That's my interpretation of that. And then last we have Revel in Riches. This gives us treasures whenever an opponent's creatures die, and then if you get 10 treasures or more at the beginning of your upkeep, you win the game. So, I mean, look at that stockpile of gold. So that wraps up the resources. Next up, we have our protection. And we need Teferi's protection, because if we're going to lose or something bad's going to happen, Albedo is going to come in to save us. So, if you don't know what Teferi's protection does, it saves us from almost everything. It's pretty awesome. Next, I'm actually going to show this one first. This card I recently found, and it is so cool, and I had to have Lord touch me his art on this because it just seems like something he would do. He'd come in clutch. I will read this. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control this turn by sources you don't control. If damage from a creature is prevented this way, come up and deals that much damage to that creature, which essentially blows up the creature if it's not indestructible. If damage from a non-creature source is prevented this way, come up and deals that much damage to the source's controller. So this can ping people back. Super, super cool card I found. I love it. Every time I play it, it's just amazing. Lord touch me. And then last we have Ink Shield. One of my favorite cards that was ever made. I love this card. Prevent all the damage dealt this turn. All combat, sorry. For each 1 damage prevented this way, create an Inkling with flying. And depending on how hard you're getting hit, you could just win on the next turn with that. And to stick with the thematics of this deck, I made special Inklings. If you see here, this is the art where he summons like, where he summons like the Dark Young. You can kind of see him right in there. And I did a thing, and I made my own Inkling tokens. They're actually Dark Young, and they're terrifying. I got a few Inkling tokens made. It is amazing. Had to stick to the thematics, as you know. Next, we have our enchantment copiers. So these are going to be what copy and duplicate enchantments to make them even more lethal. First, we have a Mirror Maid, because I think she can like copy and learn any spell. That was kind of the whole point of me making that one Evil Eye. Estrid's Invocation, super cool artwork. Again, it does the same thing, but at the beginning of the upkeep, you can exile this enchantment and return it back so you can do blinks. And then, of course, just copy enchantment. I thought that was perfect. He's reading a book and spells are going off, so it just makes sense. So those are my enchantment copiers. Next, we have our damage preventers in the form of Ghostly Prison. Hey, look at that art. Looks very similar. Cool art, though. Pay 2 to attack for each, and the propaganda. Yes, this looks like the Pleiades art because it is, but it's more of an overview, and it looks like a bunch of things are attacking, and he's kind of holding up a finger. That's what it looks like, anyways, and I figured that just worked for propaganda. It's kind of like Pleiades' way of blocking damage. I don't know. Don't ask questions. Unless you want to. You can ask questions in the comments below. And you should maybe consider subscribing if you like this kind of stuff. If you don't have to subscribe. Anyways, then Sphere of Safety. I'm excited for this scene to play out, by the way. I think it's in Season 4. I thought this art was so cool. Shallowtear's just sweeping all these creatures, and yeah, I think it's super cool because it stacks for however many enchantments you have. So right when this comes in play, it's at least just doing one, but it can get very dangerous very quickly. I mean, just imagine those two on board. That's 2 from this, 2 from this, 4 for each attacking creature. You ain't getting that combat damage through. Unless they go infinite, then you're probably not having fun anyways. Alright, so that is it for all of the non-lands. So we are moving on to our mana base here. So starting off, we have Polluted Delta, Flooded Strand, Marsh Flats, and oh, sorry, these are our fetches. So I'll briefly show these. These arts are cool. They're all proxied, of course, as well. These are ones I did not make. The lands I did not make. They're from MPCFILL. They're super pretty. It was hard to think of having thematic lands, to be honest, so I figured it wasn't that important, considering how difficult it would be to find that many lands. Next, we have our 3 shock lands, same art style. I guess I can show it in full. So yeah, there's those. I love Godless Shrine. I think that one looks really cool. And then to wrap up our shocks, we also have the Ancient Tomb. So those are our shocks and fetches. We want consistent mana in the deck, so very important to have. Then we have our temples. Temple of Silence, Temple of Enlightenment, Temple of Deceit. Just for the scry ability. So there's that. Then we have Glacial Fortress, because I can still show the arts on these. These are all MPCFILLs. Isolated Chapel, these are the ones that come in unless you control plains or swamp kind of thing. Drowned Catacomb. We have Shipwreck Marsh, Deserted Beach, Shattered Sanctum, Mystic Gate, Sunken Ruins, Fetid Heath, whatever, Command Tower, Cavern of Souls. Next we have our basic lands. These are real. So we got Triple Swamp, Triple Islands, Triple Plains. Then we got, the rest of these are real, by the way. We got a Pathway, we got a Sea Chrome Coast, we got a Shipwreck.
Well, those are my feelings.
Ignore that for a second. We have a Clearwater Pathway. I totally didn't realize that I just recently put this in because I got it in the mail, and would you believe it? I have a Shipwreck Marsh. So yeah, we're gonna ignore that and swap it out for another land. But yeah, see how prepared I am for this kind of stuff? Am I gonna restart this whole video? Definitely not. But yeah, this can be just replaced for another pathway, basically. Or if you have them and you want to, these are proxies of the dual lands. I have everything but the Tundra, so I mean I could just probably put it on a ground sea proxy and call it a day. And then I realized there was one last stack of cards to show real quick here, actually. that I didn't totally forgot about. My apologies. So we have Evil Eye, Vampire Lord as the Erebos, God of the Dead. Stop your opponent from gaining life. Amazing artwork, really cool. Overburden, this card is kind of a little toxic. Whenever a player puts a non-token creature on the battlefield, they bounce a land back. This slows their opponents down from going too crazy, because this deck's a little slow too. Karmic Justice, this is purely for protecting our board, making sure our opponents pay for messing with the Tomb of Nazarick, essentially. Then we have Greater Oromancy, give ourselves some hexproof and some Shroud. Yeah, cool art with the little adventurers group that Ainz, or Momon and Narble. Yeah. Then we have No Mercy. We have Force of Despair. This card's super clutch. Man, I'm just so not prepared right now. Yeah, so here's another land. It's a Reliquary Tug. I'm so sorry. So then we got Blind Obedience, just to slow our opponents down. We got our Authority of Consuls to slow our opponents down and to gain some life. Then we have, of course, the combo, our Sanguine Bond, Exquisite Blood, and all of that Shaltir beauty. It kind of just made sense that it had to be Shaltir special cards. And there's another cat. That's Sunny. Next is, actually we're almost done. This is like my kind of pseudo panorama of all the beauties in Overlord. We got Mystic Remora for draws, Rhystic Study for draws, Lane Line of Anticipation for flash. We'll leave it at that. I mean, if you don't like it, I guess you'll just have to scoop, won't you? But yeah, I like these cards. I thought it'd be fun to do something silly, and so does Sunny. You could hear her in the background. She loves these cards. So yeah, there's that. And then to actually for sure wrap up the build, we have 2 actual cards: Bola Citadel, Aetherflex. One so we can just do a big blast on someone when we have too much life. It's a win con. Bola Citadel, since we can pay life and get stuff out. They do work pretty well with each other as well. But those are 2 of the real cards that I do run. Pretty much the rest are altered. So yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you guys liked it. I apologize for the mix-up. I thought I had everything right, but clearly I didn't. But anyways, there's one more thing I have for you guys, especially fans of Overlord, a special treat for you. So I hope you stay tuned to the end, because this is specifically for those players, or those people. I have 3 extra copies of the Ainz Ulgon Overlord foil altar that I made. They're very slightly different from each other. I did a test with brightness, and so they're very slightly different. It's almost impossible to tell. But yeah, I am doing a giveaway on all 3 of these, each to the first 3 people that are subscribed and comment "All Hail Ainz Ulgon." You will be getting a copy of one of these cards if you so want it. Just comment in the video below with that specific sequence of words. And yeah, I'll be sending these out to you. We have an email we created, so we will post that. I'll post that in the description. And then, yeah, I'll get in contact with you, get a shipping address to send them out to, and I'll be mailing these out. You don't have to pay for the shipping. This is just my gift to you. I just wanted to do this for fun. Anyways, yeah, just again wanted to say thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. We know this channel has been blowing up a lot lately. We're really excited. We also have a 500 subscriber special, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be showing our entire game area and our game room off, getting it all nice and cleaned up to see. And then on top of that, we'll be doing a giveaway on a pretty spicy magic card. And you just need to be subscribed. There will be a couple little stipulations just to do in the video. It's super easy, but we want to do that to give back. Again, this is just something we do for fun, and you know, who doesn't want to win a free awesome magic card just for being subscribed? So yeah, stay tuned for that. Again, thank you so much for everybody that's been a part of this little slowly building community. Actually pretty fast building community, honestly. I didn't even expect to get to where we're at already. Like, we're over 400 subs. It's crazy. This is just something we do for fun. So anyways, yeah, thanks again, and you guys have a good day.